morning. I am going to check out new people as they come in here so we don't have any feedback. Welcome, everybody. I am Shannon, and this is going to be an abs and glutes class today. I am going to use my stability ball for some of the exercises. If you don't have a stability ball, you can grab one of your kids' soccer balls, or you could use a throw pillow, something like that. And we will do most of our work on the mat today. It's about a 45-minute workout. I am so excited to see all of you joining. Let me change my view so I can see you better. All right. Awesome. So I hope all of you are thinking not just about your physical health during the coronavirus quarantine and isolation period, but you're thinking about your mental health as well. And some of those tips that I have learned recently are to pick 3 people to contact per day. Maybe people who you think may be especially isolated during this time, neighbors who are shut-ins, things like that. People you haven't connected with in a long time, because this is actually a perfect time to do that. And just do a little welfare check and share any tips that you have. The other thing that I'm doing is really trying to stay in the present, and my exercise is a really important part of that. So, hey, Shauna.
Hey, can you go in and mute all and manage participants?
I did.
So nobody else. Well, you have to unclick the box because some people are coming in and taking over this screen inadvertently.
Oh, okay. And I don't want.
So you have to uncheck that.
Did I get it? Okay, I'm learning. All right. Try to get the speaker view. Great. So that I can see everyone. Okay, so I'm excited to see some of you using your cameras. I would love to see more of you using your cameras, but I know that some of you are in your pajamas and you probably don't want to. I did several workouts last week, and that's what I was doing. It was in my pajamas. So welcome, and can you guys give me a thumbs up, the ones I can see there, if you can hear me? Awesome. Excellent. So if you just joined, my name is Shannon. We're going to do a glutes and abs class today. We're going to start with a standing warm-up, and then we're going to go down to the mat. I will adjust my screen when that happens. And I'm going to be using a big stability ball. If you don't have a big stability ball, it's no problem. I have plenty of options for you. So equipment. Hey, Kathy. I see lots of you guys. Hey, Anne. So you don't have to worry about having the equipment that I have. I will give you choices. Excellent. Hey, Shauna, I just want, when I do speaker view, you're in there instead of me. Pin video. Ha! There it is. Yay! All right. So we're going to get started standing up here. I have a much better space today that won't have the weird kind of halo light filter, and it's next to my router. So a few of you did mention that I had a little bit of dropout in the workout last week. I don't think you should have any of that this week, but I would love your feedback if you do. Let's just start by taking a big inhale, bringing those arms overhead. If you want to turn on some music, feel free to start that right now. Big breath in. And exhale. We are not using music for streaming because of copyright issues. Big breath in, but that does not keep you from using it. Exhale, lower. Now we're going to roll through the spine. So I just want you to start rolling forward. You're going to make a candy cane shape as you drop down toward the floor and stack the spine. Come all the way up, shoulders back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Roll it forward. Drop it down into that candy cane shape, rounding from shoulders all the way to your butt. Shoulders back. Last time here, bring it forward. Roll it down. Now, stretching toward the floor a little bit farther if you have the flexibility. If you don't, you're going to stay right up here with me, hands above the knees, and round and flatten. So this is option 1. Option 2, rolling all the way down, all the way up. Let's do 2 more repetitions wherever you're at today. Roll it down. Bring it all the way up, and last one. Roll it down, and just hang here at the bottom for me. Drop the top of the head down to the floor. Try to straighten those legs to stretch out the hamstrings, and let's come all the way up. Arms behind you. I want you to press those hands down toward the floor. We're gonna come forward in a hip hinge, so my spine is nice and long, it's not rounded. If this is painful for your shoulders, keep the hands next to your butt. Otherwise, allow those arms to drift up toward the ceiling. Good, and bring it back up to standing. Nice. One more time here. We're gonna take a big inhale first. Exhale, clasp hands behind the hips, hip hinge forward, and let those arms drift up. Good, and come back up to standing. So we're warming up our shoulder. We're gonna do some planks and push-ups today. So open those arms up and give yourself a big hug. Open the arms up, big hug opposite direction. We're just gonna pick up that pace just a little bit, getting some lubrication to that shoulder joint. 4, nice work. Please remember to take your water breaks today as you need them. I will be as well. Last one, open it up and just look up at the ceiling. Get length, nice and long in the front side of the body. Drop those arms down. Nice job. So I wanna warm up hips just a little bit, and we're actually gonna come down to the mat for that and our remaining exercises. So bring it on down to your hands and knees and step forward with your right foot. I'm gonna hinge forward into that hip for a really nice hip opener, and then rock it back and straighten the front leg to the degree that you can. Hip hinge forward, rock it back. Good, 2 more, and then we're gonna take a stretch through that side body as well. Last one, hold it up. Grab your right arm, my left, come on all the way up. Feel a great stretch from your hip all the way to the fingertips. Nice. Bring it back to center. Other leg comes forward. Find your balance. Inhale, press that hip forward. Exhale, rock it back and straighten that front leg if you can. If your knee's still bent, that's totally fine. Hamstrings are tight, mine definitely are as well. Inhale. Exhale, rock it back. Inhale, reach, and we have 1 more of these right here. And again, we're gonna take the arm that aligns with that rear leg and lift out of the hip, reach up and over. Take a big inhale. Exhale, bring it down to center. Awesome work. So we're just gonna get started with some exercises here on the ground that are gonna warm us up pretty quickly. I'm not gonna use the ball just yet, so don't worry about any equipment. Feet flat on the floor. We're gonna roll down, hands next to the hips, squeeze the glutes, press those hips up toward the sky into your bridge, and hold right here. This is option 1. Option 2, hands next to the hips, bringing 1 knee at a time in toward the chest. You'll notice that I am maintaining my bridge. During that time, I'm not dropping out of it as I march. Nice job. 4, good work. 3, squeeze those glutes, draw the abdominals to the center of the body. 1, and hold it here. Let's pulse it out. Lift, squeeze your butt. So it's not the hips doing the work, it's the glutes doing the work, pressing those hips to the sky. Let's lift those arms up. I also want you to be careful not to lift so high that you pop the rib cage open. So we come to a nice neutral position, knees, hips, shoulders aligned. Pulse it 3 more. Good, 2, and 1, and drop it down. Nice, hug those knees to chest. If you want a little hamstring stretch, feet up toward the sky. If you can get them straighter, feel the hamstring stretch more. Bent knees, a little more glutes. And we're gonna replace that left foot on the ground Right leg is coming out, hovering right next to that left knee. Arms overhead. If you have pain with this, we're starting here at vertical. I'm gonna do a little mini half roll up for option one. Okay, a roll up prep position right here. If you wanna make this a little more challenging, we're peeling that spine off the mat, coming up a little bit higher. Good. Imagine your spine as a strand of pearls, and you're removing one pearl at a time and replacing one pearl at a time. What we don't want when we get to the top is for shoulders to scrunch up around our ears. Slide those shoulder blades down your back. 2 more. Big breath in. Exhale, lift. Roll it down. Adding that Kegel, that pelvic floor contraction as we exhale, lift for the last time. And switch legs. Roll through the spine. Good work. Reach overhead. Take a big inhale, exhale, lift. You may go back to that prep position, or you can come up a little bit higher, rolling up through the spine, imprinting the spine one vertebra at a time. Another movement that we don't want here is a swing using momentum. We want to take that spine away from the mat, one piece at a time, replace it one piece at a time. That looks great. You guys roll it up. Navel to spine, lift that pelvic floor. 2 more for me. Shoulders down away from the ears. Extending those fingertips way out toward that extended foot. And stretch it out right here. Beautiful job. Take a nice big deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's grab back of the legs and roll it up to seated. I'm gonna grab a quick sip of water. A little different when you're doing it without the microphone. I definitely need a little bit more water. Coming to hands and knees, let's work the back side of the body here for a little bit. For my clients who have sensitive wrists, I always recommend that we do a fist for wrist. You can also hold a pair of dumbbells here if you prefer. I'm gonna extend right arm and left leg to make my body as long as I can. Visualize reaching toward opposite walls with those toes and fingertips, and just hold. Now check your position. You want to make sure that that hip on the extended leg is not rotated toward the wall behind you. It's facing the mat. Extend out nice and long. Bring it to center, hover, don't touch the ground. Reach it back out. In and out. Now, if you want to add on here a little bit of an ab curl, we're going to take elbow to knee, round the spine, reach it out. Elbow to knee, and reach. Good work. 3 more. 2 more. Take that gaze right down between where the hands would be if they were both on the mat. Last one. Hold it. Pulse it up. 4, 3, 2. Navel to spine on that exhale. 1, and return. Briefly sit back into child's pose if that is not comfortable. To come all the way down, you can hover with the glutes up above those heels. And I have a hole in this sock I just noticed on the video camera. So cool. All right, come on up. All right, neutral spine, please. Don't start in a rounded position. Don't let your hips drop toward the ground. We're going to that opposite side, arm and leg. Reach it out. I want you to think about extension and length here, not height. So my arm and leg are parallel to the floor. I don't need to go any higher, but I do want to reach longer. Take a check with that hip. Make sure it's not rotating toward the wall or the camera. It is squared to the floor. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's take it to center and hover and reach. This is your option 1. Option 2, rounding that spine, driving elbow to knee, keeping that gaze on the mat. Good work. In, out, in, Out, hold it here, pulse it, 4 and 3, get longer, 2 and 1, and rest it back, beautiful. Sitting back halfway or all the way down, reaching overhead with those arms. So we're getting length in those muscles alongside the spine. Good work, and we're gonna go right into a plank series. So I'll switch direction just for some variety here. I'm gonna come down on my forearms. You can do extended arms, okay? It is up to you. I find that this one's easier on my wrists. It's actually a little more challenging for my core, which is a good thing. Step it back until your feet are hip width apart and come into your plank. And so common plank problems is we have butt up in the air or hips dropping to the mat. Okay, if you don't feel like you can maintain that nice neutral position in center, drop to your knees and hold your plank from here. Right now, all you're doing is looking down between those hands and breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. If you're clasping the hands, separate them, bring them straight out from those elbows. Good, and as you fatigue, try not to round through that upper back. Good, drop the chest, proud chest, abdominals pulling in. You have 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and rest. Nice work. We were approaching about 45 seconds there. All right, so we're gonna come back to a plank-derived exercise. Hands this time are underneath my shoulders. I start in my knee plank or toe plank, and I'm gonna press tailbone to the sky, drop my heels to the mat, and float back into my plank. Up and down. Spread those fingers, really press through the palms, keeping that spine nice and long. Up and center. Good. Squeeze the glutes. Draw the abdominals in as you come back to center, into that nice neutral position for the spine. Last one. Hold it center. Add some leg lifts to finish it up if you'd like. 4 and 3, drop to knees if you prefer. 2 and 1, sit back. Awesome job, everybody. Slow that breathing down. This is just a good resting pose. If you need to stretch out shoulders, open up the chest a little bit, feel free to do that. Hands right behind those hips. Opening up the chest. All right, so I'm gonna grab my stability ball. Again, please feel free to use a playground ball from your kids or a throw pillow to tuck between your knees so that you can really work on that inner thigh contraction, which is what we're gonna start with right now. So my stability ball's on the floor. My feet are off of the floor. I'm clasping or grabbing onto that ball with my calves. My heels are digging into the football, and this is where I'm gonna start. Hands behind the head, fingertips just for support. We're not going to tug on our head, elbows open. All right, so we're gonna lift toward the ceiling and lower. Exhale up, inhale lower. As I curl my upper body off of the floor, I'm also using those inner thighs, gripping the ball a little bit tighter, or my throw pillow, or my soccer ball. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Good work. 3 more. Shoulder blades come off the mat. My elbows are not coming together, and I'm not tugging on my head. Imaginary apple tucked under that chin, gazes up. Last one. Let's rope climb here. 4, 3, reach it up to the sky. 2, and 1. Good, hands right next to the hips. Squeezing on that ball, we're gonna bring this up toward the ceiling. I'm straightening my legs. If you have tight hamstrings, feel free to come back to that bent knee position. Otherwise, legs up, squeezing on that ball. I'm gonna inhale, lower, exhale, return. Form is really important here to protect that lumbar spine. Inhale, lower. So as I inhale, my rib cage expands out to the edges of my mat. Exhale, everything gathers to the center of my body and pelvic floor lifts. We want to avoid a big arch in the back or a rise in the belly. Hands next to the hips. 2 more. Good work. Last one right here. Squeeze. Lower and lift. 2 options. 1 is just a tap of that ball as your shoulder blades come off the mat. 2 gives you a little bit more support with fingertips behind the head. We're going to do 8 more. 7. Good. 6. Exhaling on that lift. 5. Really squeeze on that ball. 4. You should have some good shaking going on in that inner thigh. 2 more. Last one, and grab onto that ball. Stretch it out for me. Nice work. So those adductors, inner thigh muscles, should definitely have been feeling that. We're going to bring heels together, drop our toes out so we're externally rotating the hips. And I'm going to hold the ball in my hands if I want more resistance. If I don't, I'm going to get rid of it. Just bring my arms overhead. Big inhale. Peel the spine off the mat. Here's that little prep. Roll up right here and roll it down. Option, taking it all the way up, reaching toward those toes, rolling down, imprinting your spine 1 vertebra at a time. Roll it up, reach it forward. Don't let the shoulders rise into your ears. Roll it down. Big inhale here. Exhale, pelvic floor lifts. Good, we have that gathering together of the abdominals toward the midline of the body. Last one, we're gonna hold this one forward for a nice long stretch, and then come back about halfway. Option 1, I'm just lifting 1 knee at a time to touch that ball. Option 2, ball goes up, straight leg lift. If your hamstrings are really tight, you may want to stick with that bent knee, even if your ball is lifted. Make sure your shoulders are not taking this opportunity to climb up into your ears. Add a little lift with the upper body and lower. Lift and lower. Good, a little faster. 6, 5, nice work. 4, 3, shoulders down. 2, and 1, roll all the way through the spine and rest. Arms overhead. If that is painful, you are always going to go into that T stretch with arms out to the sides instead. Woo. Let's go ahead and set that ball to the side, or your pillow or your other ball. Grab a sip of water if you haven't had one in a little bit. Just make sure that you're not drinking too much water. It tends to slosh around in there while we're doing some of the exercises. It's really uncomfortable. We are going to take it down onto our stomach and work some postural muscles. For those of you who have been coming to my classes at the rec center pre-isolation, you know that we're really working on those upper and mid back muscles so that we can maintain our posture. Arms are out in 90-degree angles on the sides, like forming a goalpost. I'm going to lift my chest, lift the arms, and lower down. Lift it up, lower down. What to watch for? As you lift, you may the shoulders may kind of ride up in your ears. Slide the shoulder blades down like they're going into your back pockets. Lift it up and lower. I'm going to add on some intensity here, difficulty. You stick right here if this is what your body needs today. Otherwise, lift, reach, pull, and lower. Take it up, reach, pull it down, and lower. Good. Up, reach. My toes are on the floor. I'm not lifting my legs. I will be in a moment. Reach, pull it down, and now arms and legs up and down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, you don't have shoulder pain, reach overhead, lift it up, and lower it down. Chest comes off of that mat. Knees come off of the mat. 2 more. Good. Gather. that imaginary piece of elastic that represents your transverse abdominis to the center of your body. Reach out with those hands and little flutter kick with the feet to finish. Take that gaze to the top of your mat. 5, 4, 3. Nice work. 2, and rest. Sit back, halfway, or all the way. I'm really gonna reach overhead with those arms, get some length. And then coming up onto my knees, put my hands behind me here, open up that chest. Nice work. Good, and shake it out. All right, we are going back down to the mat. 2 more postural exercises before we roll over and we do some glute intensive work. So body's coming down to the mat, arms out in my goalpost position. Toes are gonna be on the floor. My feet are flexed this time around. I don't want my toes to leave the floor. Just lift the chest and the shoulders and arms right off of that mat. Look to the top of your mat and lower. Good work. 2 more. Drawing the abdominals in. 1 more. Bringing hands behind you. Clasp the hands right at your tailbone. I'm going to drop it down. Point those toes. Lift upper and lower body, reaching those hands toward my heels, and drop it down. Lift it up, good. Drop it down. I want to inhale to start. Exhale, lift up into that stretch position, sliding shoulder blades down your back. 2 more. Lift it up. Squeeze our shoulder blades together. We're using our thoracic spine, the muscles surrounding the thoracic spine here. Lift it up. We have traps, rhomboids, some lats in there. Hold it, kick it out. 5, nice work. 4, if you need to rest your back sooner, you do that. 2, and 1, sit back. So if those felt pretty tiring, especially that second round, likely because you, like most of us, spend a lot of time sitting in our cars or at our desks in a forward position. We need to strengthen those muscles in our upper back, stretch the muscles in the chest, but they fatigue a little bit quicker than some of our other muscles because we don't usually have the focus we need there. Let's bring our feet hip width apart. We're gonna come down into a bridge, just like we did in our warm-up, but we're gonna add some options here. Your first option is same bridge as we did in our warm-up. We're squeezing those glutes, pressing hips to the sky, drawing abdominals in, drop it down, do not touch the mat, bring it right back up, lower, and lift. Option 1. Option 2, extend left leg to the sky, lift, and lower. Just working that right side right now. Really intense for that right side glute. And some hamstrings, lift it up, and lower. As you lift, good. Remember that we have a little imaginary piece of elastic underneath the belly button. It's gathering together on our exhale, right here on our press. 2 more. Lift it up, squeeze that glute, drop it down, last one. Hold and pulse. 4, if you're doing both feet on the floor, you're pulsing right here. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Knees into chest. Give it a little rest before we get ready to go to that other side. So both feet on the floor if you were doing that double leg bridge. Right leg up if you are doing the single leg bridge with us. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Stop just before your tailbone touches the mat. Bring those arms up to the sky now if you can. We're going to work on stabilizing through this movement a little bit. Lift and lower. If you need to take breaks and bring it all the way down to the floor in between those reps, that's another great option. 3 more. Good. 2 more. Exhale, gather that body to the midline, that midsection. Drawing belly button to back. Last one right here. Pulse it. 4, 3, 2, and rest. Knees to chest. Great job. All right, and before we're done with those bridges, we're going back to double leg. We're gonna add a little bit of inner thigh work. Then we're gonna roll over for our outer thigh work and that glute medius that comes around to the side. So both feet on the floor right now. Let's lift it up. Bring the knees together, back to your start, and drop it down. So this is your first option right here. Up, in, out, and down. Second option, holding your bridge, bringing those knees in and out. So I want you to imagine that I came by, I just placed a Pilates ring between those thighs, and there's resistance there. Feel that resistance? As we drive the knees together, bring them back to center. Good. If this bothers your knees, you hold your bridge in your standard position with knees straight out from those hips. Two more. In, out. Last one. In and out, and bring it down. Great work. So you should have felt those same muscles firing that we were using when we had our stability ball between the feet. Go ahead and give yourself a little stretch here. If that bothers your knees, you can sit up into a V. Either way is fine. And I'm going to take my leg lifts to my stability ball today. If you're new to this type of format, haven't done a lot of focused core work, I would like for you to lie down on your mat on your side without the ball. This one is going to be a little bit more difficult option. Pressing that top hip into the ball. Bottom knee's just kind of a kickstand, not a lot of weight in there, and I'm going to support my head right here. Fingertips in front of the abdominals to remind me to contract those abs. Lift and lower. Let's flex the foot right now. We will change position in a moment. Shoulders down away from the ears. Now, if you want to bring in a little bit more oblique, we're going to sit up tall. Make sure those shoulders stay down away from your earlobes. Don't sink into those shoulders. As asking for some discomfort later on today. Lift it up and lower. As I lift, I'm adding that Kegel. I'm drawing navel to spine. I'm going to hold it up here, point the toe. If I'm on my side on the mat, I'm doing this exact same movement with that top leg, little circles. Shoulders down away from the ears. If you need a break for those obliques, bring it back down. Take that circle the other direction. Inhale as you start. Exhale as you finish that circle. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now bring it back up. Flex that foot. We're going to drive that knee into chest and push the foot away. Knee in, push the foot away. If you feel unstable in this elevated position, drop down here or even place those hands on the floor. 3 more. Nice work. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Extend. Feel the energy going out that heel. Last one. Flex. We're going to pulse it here to finish. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Should definitely be feeling some outer thigh firing there, and probably a little bit of shaking. Go ahead and sit into that stretch. If you have knee pain, you can be up a little bit higher. And we're going to take it to that other side. Now I recognize that leg's tired and we're going to put a little bit of weight on it right now. If you want to come down to your mat, feel free to do that. Placing that hip against the ball. Knee is a kickstand on the mat. If you're on your side, you're just a nice straight line. Here's our option 1, upper body position. Flex that foot. Lift and lower. Every time you lift the leg, excuse me, there's my Kegel. And that is where I am focusing on drawing my ribs together to the center of my body. Lift and lower. Perfect. If you want to add that oblique work, we're going to lift the chest as long as shoulders stay down away from your earlobes. Good work. You're almost there. Point that foot. Let's draw a little circle right here. Make sure you're breathing. We get into these positions, and this is a tough exercise, and then we just start holding our breath. Big breath in, exhale through. Make sure you are coordinating that breath with your movement It does not matter if you're breathing in or out when I am. I just want you to breathe. Last one. Good work. Flex that foot. Pull the knee to chest. Push it away. If you need a rest for that upper body. Good. Fingertips supporting your head. Press it away. And bring it in. 3. And 2. If you need to go closer to the floor, it's getting a little bit too tight, feel free to do that. Last one. Hold it out. Flex that foot. And pulse. Pulse. Come on. 4. You're almost done. 3. Shoulders down. 2. And 1. Awesome work. I'm going to sit into that stretch. Nice work. I think I'm going to keep you closer to the hour mark today, because I still have a couple of other things I want to do before we stretch. So if you need to take off, totally understand that. Make sure that you stretch and cool down. Honor your body by doing that rather than going straight to your next task for the day. So we're going to set that ball to the side, come down on our back. Let me go rolling, hopefully nowhere to block the camera. Okay, roll down. Hands behind the head, elbows once again are open. I don't want elbows kissing here. Keep those elbows open. Knees right over the hips. You have a nice little tabletop position here with the low body. Option 1, I'm going to lift and lower. Imaginary apple or clementine tucked under the chin. I want you to avoid squeezing the elbows together. Option 2, adding a little bit more intensity. I bring my knees in, tailbone clears the floor, and lower to start. Up and down. Good. Exhale, lift. Do not cross your feet here. You want those knees and feet aligned with the hips. 3 more. Exhale and a lift. Keeping those elbows back in your peripheral vision. 2, take that gaze up to the sky. Last one, I'm going to rotate here. First, I'm going to lift. Shoulder blades remain off the mat the entire exercise, all right? I'm going to rotate and switch. This is another exercise where you may be used to bringing that elbow to knee. I want to challenge you today to keep the elbows open instead. Good. Gives you a little bit more resistance and a little bit more focused oblique work. If we're doing this, we really can tug on our head and have our shoulders do a lot of the work. 4 more. 3 more. My shoulder blades are off the mat the entire set. Last one, and stretch. Perfect. Great job, everyone. All right, hands right next to your hips. Let's bring those feet up toward the sky. Again, heels together, externally rotate those hips so my toes are pointed out. I'm going to lower, pull it into a frog position, take it out, and lift. Down, frog, good. Press, zip up that inner thigh, lift. Down. Now, your option here, supporting your back with those hands at the tailbone. Good. Or hands next to the hips. If you want to make this a little harder, bring the hands out away from the body. Removing that stabilizer. As long as you're not arching your back or straining your back in that position. Last one right here. Let's do 4 of our little frog kicks. 4. Press it straight up to the sky instead of out as an easier option. Last one. And rest. Great job, everybody. Stretch it out for me. Let's get some length down the front side of that body. And if you need a shoulder break in that position, you can bring your hands into a T if that reach bothers you. Great job, everyone. We're going to roll up off of that mat 1 vertebra at a time. I want to do a nice little Pilates saw modification here. So bring those feet out, flex them. They're all the way out at the edges of my mat. I'm rolling shoulders down and back, opening up my chest and floating arms up. Oops, there's an inch there. And I'm going to rotate, reach outside that pinky toe, bring it to center, reach outside that pinky toe. Your neck and your gaze can be in different places here depending on how you're feeling. Most challenging is to look back toward the arm reaching behind you, or you can drop it right down next to the hip for something a little bit gentler on that cervical spine. Come on, reach. Good, outside that pinky toe, as close as you can get. One more each side without the shoulders climbing into your ears. Reach it, center it up, good work, and rest. Awesome job. So go ahead and come to either a cross-legged position, or you can place those legs out in front of you. We're gonna bring our hands behind us and reach to the floor to open up that chest. So from the side, right here, opening up my chest. Take that gaze up to the sky and chin to chest, looking down at your mat. All of that happens without your shoulders climbing into your ears. Slide those shoulder blades down your back. Lift it up. Drop the gaze down. You may need to reduce that range of motion, and that's fine. Last one. All right, legs out for me. We're gonna walk our hands forward. So I have a little bit of a flex forward here. I'm not rounding and settling into a completely relaxed position. So I'm still active through that core as I reach out. Good, so from here, we're gonna come back and we're gonna roll part way down. So I'm rounding my spine, making that nice C curve. Holding my arms here is just a little lift and a little lower. Okay, if you wanna get rid of that inner thigh stretch, you can bring legs straight out in front of you, lift and lower. Good. Exhale up, inhale down. You want a little bit more of a challenge here to finish up. I'm gonna bring knees in and I'm gonna lift and drop close to the floor, lift and drop. Options, up, tap the toes, up, tap the toes. So you have lots of choices here. Starting with those legs nice and long, a little bit of a half curl, taking feet off the floor, with or without the toe dip. 3 more, come on. Have a nice C shape here, shoulders down away from the ears. 2, last one, and let's roll over onto our belly. Elbows under those shoulders, palms up for me, straight out from those elbows. And I just want you to let that belly drop down toward the mat. We're gonna stretch abdominals right here. And if you need a deeper stretch in your back, you don't have any back pain, lumbar back pain, or any disc issues, anything like that, hands next to the chest and lift it up. Shoulders down away from the ears, dropping those hips toward the floor. Good, let's come on up and bring our right leg in front. And left leg stays back. I'm on my left hip to point toward the mat and not toward the side of the room. You can stay nice and tall right here in that stretch if you are tight in the hips, and if you are comfortable, you can sneak that foot back a little bit more and even fold forward in the chest. Get a little bit deeper stretch. You should feel a stretch going on in that bent leg, in the outer thigh and glute, and then the hip on the extended leg. Let's change sides. Bring that other leg forward, front leg back. My hip is facing the ground and not the wall behind me. Holding here, or going a little bit deeper into that stretch, extend the feet behind you, or the foot behind you rather. And then if you want to gently fold forward for a deeper stretch, you can do that. Don't force that position. And you should be feeling a stretch through this, the glute complex here, and then in the hip on that back leg. Good, come on back to center. I'm gonna stand up with you here, tilt my screen up to finish. Nice work. So let's go ahead and tuck our chin to chest, press arms to the floor like you're holding heavy suitcases here. Ear to shoulder, chin to chest, and across. Good. So if you found yourself really shrugging those shoulders on some of our exercises, we want to let that go here, chin to chest, ear to shoulder. 2 more, bring it across. And my last one, I'm gonna hold here. If this is a deep enough stretch for you, that's great. If you'd like, we can kind of rest our arm on top of our head and really extend those opposite fingertips toward the floor. We wanna get some distance between the tip of our shoulder and our earlobe here. And take it to the other side, bring it across. Holding here for your first option if you want a little bit deeper stretch. I'm just resting my arm there. I'm not cranking on my head. Reach those fingertips to the floor. Get that distance between the tip of the shoulder and your ear. Beautiful. All right, and let's roll through that spine just like we did in our warm-up. And once you get down here, let's grasp elbow to elbow. And I'm going to tip that a little bit more so you can see me. Grasping elbow to elbow and allowing the top of your head to point toward the mat. Try to straighten those legs if you can. Good, and roll through that spine. Come on all the way up. Shoulder rolls back here, just 3 of them. Again, releasing that stress if you had shoulders climbing up during any of that floor work. Big inhale, exhale, drop it down. Inhale, good. Exhale, drop it down. And the one that I want to try once more, because people really enjoy the extra stretch they get after they're nice and warm, is that hip hinge forward with arms coming up to the sky. So whereas you may have started somewhere around here, maybe after we're warm, those arms can drift overhead. Okay, and you can also add a little bit of rotation here to stretch out the front of the shoulders. Only if that's comfortable, bring it back up to center. And great job. One nice deep cleansing breath in. Exhale, wring out those lungs. Great work, everybody. I'm so thankful that you joined me. We have a totally packed schedule. We're having so much fun teaching these classes from home. And there are such great instructors this week, so please jump onto the Parker Recreation website for all of those options. I had a couple people ask me about the app. So the app sends out notifications at a specific point in time, and if we update the schedule, that won't be reflected in those notifications. So the best place to go for the latest schedule is either that link on the Parker Rec page for Facebook or the Parker Rec Center website. Thanks, guys. I had a great time. Have a good day.